Welcome to another episode of The Room Podcast, brought to you by NewEnglandMMA.org. Please follow, share, and enjoy the show, starting right now. Sounds like you're connected. There he is. What's up, Michael?
Hey.
How are you, buddy?
What's up, my man?
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm actually sitting out front of Stop and Shop waiting for Mr. Michael Dufort to come out.
No
The
shit.
Canadian man, the Canadian man has landed. We just shot a quick promo with him over at the Jetty in Plymouth and bringing him to get some groceries. And I saw you guys talking about the fights, and I was like, oh, maybe give my buddy Steve a call.
Excellent. Yeah, we just saw the promo. I think it was him. We just played it right before you came on here. I think you got it up pretty quick, right?
Yeah, so his plane landed about 5 o'clock today. Then obviously Boston traffic and stuff. He got back to the hotel about 6:45. We filmed that probably about an hour ago, and there you have it. It's already up there promoting it.
Well, Mike, before you messaged and said, "Hey, I'm around, man," we were showing up. What's going on as far as tomorrow press conference, weigh-ins times. We didn't get the fight night and all that other stuff, so we have you here to give us what it said on that poster, man. So tomorrow, big press conference, and as we see the main event, half the main event is definitely going to be part of that press conference. To get to him real quick, I mean, Mike's been around fighting for like pretty big organizations. Pretty successful. What's he think of you guys so far, man? He's getting driven around right now. He's got press conference tomorrow. What's going on?
Man, honestly, this guy, I don't want to spoil it for the New England fans, but listen, he's a good dude. He's super nice. He actually said to me, and again, I've only been interacting with him for the last hour and a half, maybe, and he already said, he's like, I fought for PFL and some big organizations. He's like, man, is there anything you don't do? He goes, this is the best promotion I've seen. Because he came to the show in July. And then obviously here, he's been super complimentary. And then he has a teammate with him that he's already saying, can we get him on the next card at 170 as an amateur? He's a 3-0 amateur, his buddy Ian. So, yeah, man, it's been a good experience. He's a super nice guy. I hate to spoil it for New England, but we'll definitely play up the bad guy role in the press conference.
Yeah, get him a Bruins t-shirt.
Yeah, get him a Bruins t-shirt. Maybe someone does. Maybe you just
bet you they
spoiled
do.
us out of that
Yeah,
one.
bet you they do.
As far as the card, go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, the funny part is that he came with the Habs jersey, but a lot of people might, if they became fans of him on his Instagram after that, which they probably didn't, the next day, he stayed an extra 3 days in Boston after the last event. And he was at Fenway Park the next day at a Red Sox game.
Nice.
So,
Not with a Habs jersey, though, right?
Hey, Michael, will there be any Bruins in attendance at Cage Titan 61?
Ooh, good question.
Oh, man, I wish we could have pulled something off, but they just got into camp. Yep. I think if you saw Marshawn, shout out to Marshawn, who was named the captain. Today, I think they announced it. But, they're in camp right now, getting ready for the season. So I don't believe any Bruins will be in attendance. I know Milan Lucic was resharing some of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know some big hockey websites have actually picked this up, the whole Suzuki jersey and that thing. So there won't be any attendance to my knowledge, but you never know.
You never know.
Well, Mike, I probably only have you on for limited time. I always say that, but we do have half the main event who's going to get in the car and say, hey, let's get the fuck out of here. I want to get to my hotel room and all this other shit.
Let's talk to him.
But until we get there, and we will have a word with him, but until we get there, Mike, man, we just put the poster out there. You have all the information as far as what's going on in the next few days. Tomorrow you got the press conference, who's going to be there, what time, and how do people, not just media, if some fans want to, chime in and ask a question, how they all do that.
Yeah, I heard Tommy mention that he went there this past weekend, and so press conference tomorrow is at Proof 22. Actually, Proof 22 is a restaurant. The brewery is Second Wind Brewery, which has their own tap room. But Proof 22 is where the press conference is. We're going to be going live at 1 o'clock. It is open to the public, so if you want to come by and witness this yourself, in person. We love having people there if you want to come because it adds to the vibe. But if not, it's more of a streaming event for all the fans at home to be able to go live and watch these questions. And as you mentioned, Steve, you can go right in the chat and ask questions, and we'll call those questions out as you go. As for who's going to be there, this is super important to me that we always have both sides of the fight card there. And if one guy comes and the other guy can't come, then I don't have either one. It's just something that I firmly believe in. I've seen promotions where they'll do press conferences and events where they only want to pump one side. It's just not something we go for. So Dufort will be there. Joe Giannetti will be there. And we have Ross Hilton, Joshua Marsh as our co-main event, and the heavyweight title fight will be there as well. And then Nate Williams and Zach DiSabatino as our featured lightweight fight. All 6 of those guys will be there. Those are the 3 big fights at the top of the card. And I shout out to the fighters. For instance, Nate Williams, he's getting on a plane at 6 a.m. so that he can be here by 8:30 tomorrow morning. So he'll be here in time for the press conference. We always arrange the scheduling of the flights in order so that they can be there for the press conference. And the only flight out was at 6 in the morning. And Nate said to me, he goes, you know what? Screw it. If I got to fly out at 6 to be there, I want to be there. And these out-of-state fighters really enjoy being a part of this because I don't think that they get that love often when they fight for the home state guys.
Yeah, I remember Nate being here when I met him the first time. I think when he fought Don Shanis, and he was excited and elated to be part of this. And just like when you guys flooded the social media with him and just gave him a lot of support, he was very appreciative, and it makes fighters want to come back. And like you said, I mean, you make connections. Dufort fighting for the first time, but now he's got a training partner that he wants to take over here, and it just goes to show you the product that you're putting out there, and how much these fighters adore fighting for Cage Titans. So congratulations again on another great card and getting some really great names together, Mike. Good stuff, man.
Always good.
And coming out of another regional promotion in New England Fight Week to have your fight right after, man, and you know what I mean. You're still gonna the crowd isn't gonna change. It's gonna be huge. It's just great for New England, man. 2 cards in a row. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, we're gonna keep that ball rolling. Another funny thing that Dufort mentioned is about the beers. He's like, dude, I'm going to be on a beer. And I'm like, yeah, man, Second Wind Brewing. And then I gave him a sneak peek, actually 42nd Parallel there, lightweight lager. Also, we haven't released the can yet, but it's also featuring Dufort and Giannetti. So Dufort told me his dad's driving down the 5 hours from Montreal. And he's like, I hope that the brewery's got some cases. Cause my dad's going to buy a bunch of cases of that beer to bring home to Canada. So, yeah, that was one of the other things that he pointed out. He's like, wow, that was so cool that you guys have beer cans. And,
yeah, those Canadians love the beer.
Adds to the event.
Yeah, what were you saying,
The
Tommy?
Canadians love the beer, so that's like fucking the best right there.
Exactly. He's going to, probably compare it. Probably have a little taste test with the crew there, man.
A little bat blue.
Yeah, some Molson's.
Well, Mike, man, all right, so next day is weigh-in. So Friday, as always, weigh-ins, usually 1 o'clock. Is that the same thing going on?
Yeah, so Friday at 1 o'clock is the ceremonial weigh-ins. The official weigh-in started at 11 for the fighters, where they'll do all their tickets and their photos for all the broadcast stuff. And then at 1 o'clock, we go live on stage for the ceremonial weigh-ins. That'll be streamed on Facebook and YouTube. It's always cool, to be able to get the fans to be able to see the weigh-in, the ceremonial weigh-ins, see these guys stare off. It's been so many great moments that have come from this that got the people hyped for the fights. I keep talking about it leading to this fight. I'll never forget Carlos Ballester telling Blaze Nichols he smells like bitch. And, they're face-to-face. They're both making their debuts. And I'm like, holy shit, here we go. And, I wasn't even paying attention to that. I shouldn't say that. I wasn't paying attention, but many people wouldn't have been paying attention to 2-0-0s. And then, bam, they're at the weigh-ins. And that adrenaline kicks in. You give us a moment like that, and now all eyeballs are on that fight. So I really enjoy being able to bring the live stream of the weigh-ins to the fans because I think they enjoy it.
Excellent, and it's done so well, so really good. And My God, fighters love it. They clip their own thing out there. It's all over Instagram. I
People
mean,
love
friggin',
that. People
it's
love
just
watching
like,
it. It
all of it.
adds to the show.
It's like 17 different angles of like
Yeah.
an argument going on or something like that. It's
Uh-huh.
like for everyone from the crowd, behind the scenes.
Yep.
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, I truly enjoy it. I mean, I think that, like, for us to be able to peel back the curtain a little bit and show the fighter, the fans, some of these things that unless they're there, they don't necessarily get to see. I tell Nick and our entire team, like, I want them to feel that they're a part of this. I want them to feel invested in what we do, and really enjoy being a part of it. So and if they can't be there because somebody's working a Friday afternoon at 1:00, they can feel like they're there because they're watching it and they're following along. And like you just said, Steve, like, we got the front of the camera angle from the front of the stage, but then you got Nick doing the over the shoulder stuff. You got people in the crowd that are also live streaming. So like, it's just, listen, man, just getting the stuff out there and letting the fighters and the fans really enjoy and take it all in. It's not just about fight night. It's about everything that goes into it.
Excellent. Michael, I'm going to get like professional here. We're like, well, Michael, I ran into some fighters Friday night. You know how like fighters, they're all over the place. And you got some announcements coming. I'm not going to ask you what exactly they are, but you do have some things you're going to be announcing on Saturday night, a matchup that was already talked about on social media. We'll see Saturday night if that is set in stone. And then there was another one or two that a couple of fighters I bumped into talked about that. Hey, you better be paying attention because we're going to be making an announcement. So what do you got?
Yeah.
2 or 3? What do you got going on for the next card?
Listen, I can tell you, I'll give you the beans of, I got 2 fights that we're 100% announcing. We have a third fight that there's a strong chance of announcing. And then we have a 4th fight that we're hoping that we can have some talks that night to put it together and kind of in person put the finishing touches on it. So those I can tell you for sure. That one.
All right,
I really tell you.
I whatever you want to tell me, Mike, I'll take, right?
Exactly. Take all the beans.
I will tell you one fight. You guys at New England MMA actually were a little instrumental in kind of putting the talks together. And your rankings that you come out with, I think gets people chattering and it gets people. Trust me, I was part of your rankings panel when you first did them a few years back, and it's a thankless task putting that together, and it's long hours putting it together. So it's a tough job for you guys, but it gets the fighters talking, it gets them chattering, and overall, it sometimes it comes like in this one that we're going to announce possibly, maybe, potentially on Saturday. It came from you guys in the rankings. So shout out to you guys for putting that all together.
Nice, my man.
Yeah.
I hope my man Sahib, whose fight dropped this weekend, is one of those names. I know nothing, but I just hope that he gets taken care of a little bit.
I ran into him Friday night.
Yep.
And Sahib,
good friend of mine.
We're good. He's been on here.
Yeah.
And I want, hey, Sahib, you want to get an interview in? This was like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, right when the fight was announced.
Yep.
And he goes, no, how about we do it afterwards?
Yep.
And maybe he sent something, but Sahib, he had the title fight coming up, and that fight fell through for him, right?
Yeah, man, it's kind of a bummer. Unfortunately, his opponent wasn't going to be able to make weight. So it's kind of like, this is such a tough thing, and I've had it happen in the past 13 years.
Oh, yeah.
Like when your opponent doesn't think he's going to make weight, do you tell him to give him the respect and try to like work it out way ahead of time? Or do you just continue to try to do it? And then at weigh-ins, when you don't make weight, then deal with it then. So like, I've dealt with both schools of thoughts, and sometimes, I've had so many different varying results. Like, you tell me ahead of time 2 weeks before, hey, listen, my weight's not going the way it is. I had some personal stuff this time, the other thing, but I'm probably going to miss weight. Usually the other team will go, dude, it's 2 weeks away. Fucking make weight.
Yeah.
And they'll take that stance.
Yep.
Then you have other people that will be like, hey, I'm glad you told me ahead of time. Let's figure out a deal. Let's go up 5 pounds. Let's go up 3 pounds.
Catch weight.
So I think both. But in this case, the weight miss was just going to be way too much. And Anthony Ofiali just was not even going to come in at the, like, even close to the weight class. Actually, the next weight class up. And, it just wasn't going to be able to happen. And shout out to Saeed and his team.
Yep.
They were willing to work, but like going up 10, 15 pounds, it just made no sense for him. He did offer to go in as a pro debut if no amateurs would fight him. It just, the time ran out. When you find this out about a week and a half, 2 weeks before a fight, it's not exactly easy stuff you're dealing with. So we couldn't pull it off, but I know Richie and I from Triforce, Richie Santiago, and I have been talking, and we're going to try to make it right and get him something for our November card, because I hear great things about Saeed. I hear he's a beast.
Yeah.
He's incredible talent. I was excited about getting him on the card, and it just unfortunately didn't work out.
He's got a big following. He's definitely a great ambassador for up and coming pro.
Super athletic.
Yeah, he's going to be a great face for whoever, he makes his debut for, and whoever he ends up fighting for consistently, man. But
yeah, and I mean CES has an October card, so maybe he'll jump on that one if and if he can get on November, I don't want him to wait. So I'm a firm believer. What's best for the fighters, though. I don't want to like hoard anybody or prevent them from making opportunities. Actually, shout out to Randy Costa. So I guess I'll tell you that it's not one announcement we'll be making this weekend. Randy Costa had an incredible opportunity that came up last night with Game Bread. Things were aligning like we were going to make a big announcement for Randy for this Saturday night. But then he got this opportunity with Game Bread, and it's like, dude, I totally 100% understand. Like, we're not in the business of trying to, tie people. As you know, Steve, or if you didn't know, we don't even sign contracts with guys. Like, I'm not going to make a piece of paper make you be with me if you don't want to be fighting for us and you have opportunities to make more money or more exposure or whatever your heart desires somewhere else. We're not the type of people that are going to ever hold somebody back. So we wish Randy the best. Game Bread, big announcement today. So shout out to him. But yeah, whatever Saeed can get next, whether it's waiting until November 11th, if he doesn't want to wait that long, if there's another show, we wish him the best. But I know Richie Santiago and I have been talking about Saeed for a long time. So we'll hope to get him in the fold at 55 for sure.
Excellent, my man. Well, Mike, let's talk fight night. Times, doors opening. Do you have the special 100 people that can get in like early?
Yeah.
Like what's going on Saturday night?
All right, perfect, because it's 9:01 and this grocery store closes at 9, so it'll come out any minute. When it does, I'll flip my camera so you guys can see him walking out.
Yeah, we could just say hi to him.
Yeah, so obviously we have the pregame bash at Second Wind Brewing at 12 o'clock on Saturday, kind of getting you guys a little lubed up before you get to the venue. 4 o'clock, if you have one of our hall passes, this was something that we did new this year. I'm telling you right now, it's incredible because regular doors open at 5. But for just $10, you can purchase your hall pass on our website. And if you do, you get in a full hour before everybody else. So that means you cut the line. That means you get first choice of seating.
That's huge.
And it's limited to only 100 people. So whoever the first 100 are to get hall passes, again, it's only $10. You'll get in an hour before everybody. So hall pass opens at 4. Regular doors open at 5. 5:30, we have 2 incredible kids matches going on to kind of warm up the crowd as they're filling in. We have 2 girls out of Lakeville MMA doing a no-gi match, and then we have a competitor out of Max Training Center and a competitor out of Lakeville doing a match in gi, 2 boys. So we got 2 incredible kids matches kind of warming up the crowd at 5:30, and first fight starts right at 6. We got our 2 Muay Thai fights kicking off the card, then we go right into the MMA. There's 9 amateur fights in total, 8 pro fights. Man, it's going to be a crazy night. I mean, this fight card, at top of the fight card is some incredible fights, and all throughout the card is some fun matchups. I'm sure somebody else will break them down. You don't need to hear from me, but trust me, I think that this card is going to be like one of those cards where you come for the amateur fights because you bought your tickets from your favorite amateur fighter, and it's one that you're like, you know what, I might want to stay around for the pros. Let's stick around. This Giannetti versus Dufort fight, not just because it's ahead of the card, but I can tell you right now, like, Giannetti's sold more tickets than he's ever sold. The hype on this fight is huge. And I think there's huge implications for whoever pulls this fight out. This is the type of fight that the UFC wants to see. I can tell you right now, and I always back it up receipts. I'm not one of those guys that just talks promoter talk. I have the emails from the UFC, from Sean Shelby. That's like, if you're not fighting contender caliber fighters that are on our radar at the local scene and beating them, don't even bother sending us names. Like, we don't want guys who are, their last 3 fights are against bums, and then you're like, hey, he finished the last 3 fights. Do you want him? It's like, if you're not having a couple names on there that are next level, like, worthy on your resume, don't send them. They want to see these type of fights, and we delivered it for them. And I think Sean Shelby will definitely be calling the winner of this fight. So I think this is an opportunity for us fans to see something. And I honestly think that either one of the guys, whoever loses, is still right there as one of the best.
Sure. Mike, I was going to just say that also. I said, this is, whoever wins this fight is definitely, in my eyes, and I would imagine 99% of the freaking country's eyes, and whoever follows these two fighters, whoever wins is going to the UFC. But as far as this matchup, it's totally different two styles right here. That we don't know what is gonna go on in there. I mean, we've seen Dufort take on a dude that's like Joe in body style and stuff like that. But Joe's a different kind of fighter, man. As far as, I mean, he's on a tear, and he's home. So this fight right here, 99% of the world and country, they're going to the UFC. And if they don't, man, it's a goddamn shame. There's nothing else these two fighters can do past this point. I mean, they're fighting the best they can fight at this point right now, this fight.
Yeah, I think that there's a couple different mentalities. When guys get at this cusp, when you're 14-4, 11-4 like Dufort, who's fought in the PFL, 14-4 like JoJo, who's gone on the run he's gone on, there's guys that will rest on their laurels. They'll just kind of sit there and be like, I'll cherry pick a few easy wins because I don't want to risk too much, because if a loss, they feel a loss when they're right there will knock them too many pegs down. This is a testament to both these guys. They're like, yeah, we're both at the cusp. We're both right there, and fuck it. We're pushing all our chips in. We're calling. We're going all in. And I think that this is a fight that both guys should be applauded for having the balls to take these type of fights against each other. And, I'm sure Dufort could have maybe fought up in Canada in his home state and, asked the promoter to give him an easier fight where he could sell a bunch of tickets and, beat somebody up. Same thing with Giannetti. He probably could have asked the same thing. And I think that this just shows both guys have kind of said, I've done everything there is. The only thing left to do is to beat another top prospect and show that I'm the top prospect. And we find out on Saturday night.
Well, my man, one thing about your promotion is this is definitely a win-win-win. You got two great fighters going at it in a great main event for a great title. And then, one of these guys is going to go to the UFC and they're going to be representing Cage Titans. I mean, if it's Joe Giannetti, it'll be a better, a better storyline because he's been with Cage Titans so long. But if it's Mike, I mean, his last fight with you guys, he's your champ, and that's going to be some of the highlight blasting him into the UFC. So, Mike, I mean, it's a win-win for everyone here, man. So it's such a dynamic and great friggin' matchup, man. So congratulations again. Me in the past has, complained about fighters not, when they're at this spot, not taking fights like this that, it's going to show if they're going to hang in the UFC or just be that one and done. And this is definitely the fight that is going to show that these guys belong in the UFC more than just to be sacrificial lambs. One of these guys should get a contract to give them a chance to, hit their potential in the big league.
And I mean, I think this fight will speak volumes for the future of our local MMA scene. You see guys like even Jack Condon, 3-0, and he takes on Trevor Goody at 2-0, or I think he's either 2-0 or 3-0. But it's like so early in his career. In years past, guys would be like, "Yeah, give me another insert opponent here." like they would take that easy route to get to like 5-6-0, and then maybe take a test fight or a middle of the road fight. I think that this is going to be a big showing, because especially if somebody gets signed off the message will be said, guys, if you take a tough fight and you can pull out a big victory, that could be your key. I think I mentioned Jack Condon because Jack Condon is another example of, like, he was a guy that probably didn't have to fight a Trevor Goody in his third or fourth fight, but he did. And he's kind of a new wave that's saying, I want the toughest test. Joe Poirier is another one. He's fighting 4-4 Chris Caterino on this show. And Chris Caterino is a beast. He's fought, Jay Perrin. He's fought Lionel Young. He's fought Bellator. And here Joe Poirier is going up 10 pounds to fight a super tough veteran at that other guy's weight class. I think this is a nice breath of fresh air for us and for the fans, where these guys are really about challenging themselves at this stage. And it's nice to see.
Yeah, and you speak of Joe again, man, and it's on, less than a month's notice, jumping right back into the cage. He's got, he's got a lot to lose and a little less to gain, as far as his fight. He don't have to take this fight, but he wants more experience and, like you said, better opponents and another win on his record to propel him. Mike, you talked about, this fight and being, kind of that fight that's going to make, maybe in the future these matchups be something that's, on a regular basis, these tough matchups. You got a couple more, not to say the names, but you have a couple more of these matchups happen in November, maybe 2 or 3 of these fighters that are on the cusp that need these challenges to get there to show the bigger leagues that they can hang and stay there. So, awesome.
I definitely, without spoiling it, you're absolutely right. Like, these guys are seeing it, and I think they're seeing the attention that they're getting. So we're kind of seeing a wave, like kind of like a changing of the tides, where guys were like, all right, cool, I want to sell to my friends and beat somebody up at a Cage Titan show, to now they're like, you know what, I want to get to the next level. I know I can do it through Cage Titans, and I want to fight some tough guys to prove that I belong at that next level. There's a whole bunch of different layers to that, but that's another story for another day. I love that fighters are challenging themselves. They made my job easy, because a lot of times in the past I'd have to match fights. I'd throw a name at them. They're like, no. Throw another name at them. No. Throw another name at them. No. Well, can you get me this guy? And I'm like, ugh, like, of course you want that.
He's 0-10.
Well, I'll tell you
50.
this. I 100% back and enjoy Rob Fuller. But the amount of guys who would inbox me and ask to fight Rob Fuller, and I'm just like, if that's what your opening argument is, man, come on. Like, and I will give Rob every opportunity to fight for Cage Titans, because I truly enjoy him. He saves so many fights, and he comes to bang, and he comes, and he comes and he brings it, and he puts on a show, but like, if there's a certain guys, like, that will reach out, and it's like, man, let's go. Like, we're done doing this game. We're not doing this song and dance. Like, let's step up. Let's test ourselves. And if you have what it takes to get to that next level, let's prove it. And we will see on Saturday who's willing to go out there and prove it and show that they're the best, and keep that ball rolling into November.
Excellent. Well, Mike, is the half of the main event. I thought I heard some French Canadian or something voice behind you. Are they here, or?
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking. So here I am. And I'm waiting at the door for him. That's not him, though.
Imagine if he drove that thing out. So is he? Hey, wait a minute. Is he paying with Canadian money? Is he paying with
Loonies
American
and
money?
Toonies.
That's a great question.
Maybe they have him detained in there.
Hold on, I gotta pull up my messages to make sure he has a
Mike,
message.
Mike, why don't you just walk in there with your phone? We'll grab him live when you walk right in there with your phone.
Well, I'm pretty sure this place closed at 9, so I don't know what he's doing in there. But either way, dude, listen, are you guys obviously going to be at the show this weekend?
Oh, yeah. Tommy, you want to go?
No, I got to run around this weekend.
All right,
so.
yeah. Well, Mike, I got a message. Nick, he did mention us today about credentials. We're all going. Dylan's popping his cherry. Saturday night.
Nice.
Brendan Boat said he's going to be jumping on, helping the page. I don't know what he's probably going to be my bodyguard, which I'll take. So we'll all be there in full effect. You'll get to meet Dylan and all that good stuff. I'm sure he'll be running around doing interviews, or he'll be in the back, doing that thing too.
I mean, I love it, man, and I love when people get interviews and doing that stuff in the back, because I think that stuff's important. That's what happens when you get to the next level at the UFC. They usher you out of the cage and you go right with a microphone in your face. And I mean, people, we're not doing it for any other reason besides that's what you're gonna be doing at the next level. So get those reps in front of the mics. I've said it before on your podcast. I've said it on my podcast. The UFC wants people that can speak and promote fights. It's the entertainment business. So, when I hear fighters well, I just fight. And it's well, you know what? There's a little bit more to it. And, you got to get the word out there, get used to talking, get used to being comfortable in front of the camera. And that's just another little thing that we like to push at Cage Titans. So it's fun. But either way, I'm excited to see you guys this weekend. I'm excited to see all the fans. Steve, we're going to have a good time, man. We're going to have a good time. You don't need no bodyguard.
I know. I'm just playing.
Hey, yeah, never mind. There's another question.
Hey, dude, last thing, right? So Friday night, I'm at the fights, man. This is where I get my appreciation.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thanks,
I think I said happy birthday.
Yeah, you did. We've talked on Messenger stuff. But, Mike, this is where I get my kind of what pays me to make me want to do this. Friday night, I'm at the fights, man, and I'm running into people I haven't seen in a while. But, I run into a couple of fighters. They fight for Neff, and I interviewed them for the first time, and they come up, and they're like, oh, what's up? Meet me for the first time, kind of. And oh, blah, blah, blah. And, they kind of get a feel of how you really are, who you really are in person. What you are on social media is a little different.
Of course.
When they meet you in person, that's when they can really figure out and get a vibe on you. So I run into these guys where oh yeah, I give them a hug, we're talking. All of a sudden I get a whole wave of 7, 8 fighters, young fighters, Valdina, I get I get Walter Catito and all his guys coming up. Steve, all these young fighters and coaches coming up to me, glad to see me. And these two guys are right there. And I'm and they're laughing. I'm this is my this is romper room to
this
me.
Is your life.
These are my kids. I'm I just felt so that's my thing. That's what makes me feel I have a job here. You know what I mean? It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, man. So it's incredible. And it's fun when you get that recognition, as you tell. I think that you've been grinding away for so long doing this. You're the one constant that's been around in New England for how many years now? We see media people pop up, come, go. They're around for a few months and they're the hot topic of the day, and then they're gone. It's like that in this sport in particular. You see that with hot promotions. Promotions will pop up. Hold on, here we go. Here he is. Yeah. He's finally here. We got his grocery cart. Oh, hold on. There we go.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Michael Dufour.
There he is.
Look at it. He's alone. He did it all by himself.
All by himself. Yeah, get through it in the back. Way back. Yeah. Should I go get it? I'll help him with his groceries.
Yeah, help him out. Just you hold the phone to him.
There you go. Hold on. I'll give you a word. You can give him a word. So this is
what do Canadians eat that we can make fun of?
He's up there. What's up, Mike?
Oh, never mind. Yeah, you're on the car.
What happened?
You're on my car speaker, so I'll let him say hi when he gets in the car.
All right, and then we'll take off. But Mike, all right, get in the car or help him out. And final thing, Mike. Last thing you want to say about the show, times, anything you want to go, tickets, all that other stuff before I let you go and we just say bye to him.
All right, man. No, man. As always, Proof 22 tomorrow for the press conference at 1 o'clock. Tune into our Facebook and our YouTube channel. Then on Friday, we have our ceremonial weigh-ins at 1 o'clock on our YouTube and our Facebook channel. Saturday's fight day, man. It's all business. Thursday, 12 o'clock pregame bash at Second Wind Brewery. They've been brewing our beer for 3 years now. Do an incredible job. Go over there, meet the guys. We're going to be doing ticket giveaways, prizes. Superfan Rob Pico will be hosting the pregame bash. So go have a beer with him and have a good time. And shout out to Superfan Rob Pico. This guy he's bringing a group of 32 people 32 front row tickets. So if you couldn't get a front row tickets because of this guy, and what he does is every show he brings anywhere from 6 to 12 new people that have never been to a Cage Titans event because he loves being around so much that he said that he wants to bring the experience to others. So he always brings somebody new every time, and he's got a group of 12 new out of his 32 coming. So go see Rob Pico, show him some love.
I don't even know 32
second
people.
Win, pregame bash.
Excellent, my man. Is Michael...
And then obviously, hall pass. Get your hall pass. Doors open at 4 if you have a hall pass.
That's killer.
If not, doors at 5 o'clock for the regular public. First fight at 6. And then this man right here, he is in the main event.
Yes, sir.
What's up, Michael? Michael, man, did you... Hey, Mike, I got to ask you a question. Did you pay in Canadian currency or USA currency at the supermarket?
USA.
Do you have U.S. currency, Canada?
I have. No.
Do they do both? Oh, you're going to exchange?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All the loonies
Actually,
and toonies.
One of your media members, Dylan, didn't Dylan interview him at PFL?
Yes, he did. Dylan's the one that got me in contact with Mike, gave me all his information to get an interview with him, and I appreciate it. Dylan is going to be at the show, Michael, on Saturday night, so we'll all get a word.
I know.
We'll get a word with you, my man. Hey, Michael, last thing I want to hear you say on my show is, I am not impressed by your performance. I want to hear that before you go.
I am not impressed by your performance.
He sounds just like him. Holy shit.
Hey, man. That's fucking gold. Hey, Mike, come back on. I'll let you go.
All right.
One last thing, Michael. I know you have Spectation Sports. You want to give them a plug, anything like that, or before I let you go?
All right, perfect. So great segue. If you don't have tickets for Cage Titans this Saturday, you cannot be in Plymouth Memorial Hall. I got 2 things for you. Luckily, our friends at Spectation Sports are setting up viewing parties in and around Plymouth. Proof 22, Tavern on the Wharf, and Main Street will be showing the Cage Titans pay-per-view on their TVs. Ooh. So if you don't have tickets or you can't get in because it's close to sold out, if not sold out, you can go to any one of the viewing parties, Main Street Sports, Proof 22, or Tavern on the Wharf. On top of that, if you want to stay from the comfort of your own home and don't want to get out, or you're out of state or out of country, perhaps, Spectation Sports got you covered. They will be streaming the entire event. Use your favorite fighter's last name in all caps as the promo code, because a portion of that purchase will go back to these fighters. As you know, at Cage Titans, we always like to give back to the guys as many different ways as possible in addition to ticket sales. So Spectation has jumped on our boat, and they give a percentage back to the fighter. So use your favorite fighter's last name, all caps. And then I have on good authority, I cannot say it officially, but as you know, the last few events, BetMGM has covered the odds where you can go on and bet live on the Cage Titans pro fights. I have on good authority that they're going to be doing it again. Wink, wink. So download that BetMGM app, maybe, if you want to. I didn't say that. If you want to bet on the fights this weekend. All right, that's it.
All right, my man. Michael, thank you so much for calling in. Hey, Mike, 2 Michaels in there, man.
Mike and Mike.
Hey, hey, Mr. Dufort, we'll be seeing you on Saturday night, man, doing work in there. Congratulations on a huge fight. And we can't wait to see it, man. Michael, we're going to go because I'll have you on here for another hour. You'll be talking to us on the drive home. Bye.
I'm hanging up. Bye.
Later.
Okay.
Get
Bye.
out.
Later, Mike.
That was fucking awesome, dude.
That was good.
That
Perfect.
was awesome, man.
Yeah, that's good.
Fucking
Pops in and out.
Yeah, fucking Mike's a good friend of mine.
Yep.
Like, doing that shit for me. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
That's cool.
Dude, that was awesome. Couldn't ask for it.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, perfect.
Anything better than that. Fucking
I think he was going to say
promotional
something about your extracurricular activities
Yeah,
on
he
Friday
wanted to
because that's
chime
when he
in there.
stopped. And then he
Like,
stopped.
yeah,
He
but
said, "Oh, I'm
you
going
know
to
what?
talk to you about it later. Guarantee it was about that."
Fucking excellent.
That's funny. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, never mind. Fucking, we're on the air."
He thought I was on my messenger with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Bet you guys are at home.
with that said, that was good.
Good
Yeah,
shit.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, me too.
Get the hell out of here.
You said
Get
you're
ready
hungry.
for Saturday. That's about it. We'll be in there full effect. Fucking 5 of us.
Yep.
5 of us in
Awesome.
that place running around like friggin' ants on sugar.
Maybe I'll get
wait.
to the next one.
Just let me know.
Yeah.
You're always media.
Yeah, yeah.
Whenever you want to go.
Sure.
All right, my man. With that said, anything you want to say before I let you go?
Good to be back.
We'll be back next week to recap this.
Yes. The reason we weren't here last week is the fucking floods, remember?
Yeah, dude.
That's
I couldn't
why.
risk it again.
No.
Because I got stuck it took me an hour and a half to get home
That's
from here.
nuts. Yeah, I bet. It was Providence and Rhode Island and Pawtucket and all that shit was nuts.
People were like floating by me.
Yeah.
I don't know how my little Honda got through all that. It's low. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
got the
fuck did I get through that?
yeah.
Sorry, everyone. All right, with that said, see you Saturday night. I'll be there with the New England MMA crew, the whole crew. All right, so bye.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone. We out.